Tyler Lockett is in his 7th season in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks, but he never forgets where he came from. Lockett grew up in Tulsa and has been showing love to the city before each game with his pregame cleats. Booker T. Washington High School, Waffle That, and even Quick Trip got some love from Lockett. I talked with him about the shoutouts, his talented family of football players, and Tulsa barbecue. Take a look.
I was just talking to your uncle, and I saw that your brother is also going to be going to Kansas State, and your dad went there, your uncle went there, you went there. It's so crazy that you have such a athletic, and gifted family. But who would you say is the most competitive or talks the most trash in your family? Is that any of that going on?
I'd probably be my dad. Think if it was anybody that would talk or say anything, probably be him. Well, I mean, he didn't really say much growing up. I think the biggest thing was when I beat his records and stuff, he still got drafted in front of me. So he was the person that got drafted the highest so far in the family.
You think your brother will end up beating your dad in that draft competition?
Yeah, I think he has a really good shot. The thing about K-State right now is they're not as much of a throwing team as they was when my dad and uncle was there as well as I was there. So, he won't be playing under Coach Bill Snyder. Coach Klein is a great coach. He's been doing a phenomenal job. He has a great history when he was at North Dakota State. So, I mean, he's just going to be playing under a different coach. Still might be some familiar faces there that he could be able to be a part of within the family that I was a part of and my dad and uncle. But it just looks a little different within the faces, and it just depends on what the philosophy on offense is going to be like as he goes down there.
And so I wanted to bring it back to the cleats that we were talking about. So you had the different shout outs for a few different places. A couple weeks ago, you had the shout out to your high school, Booker T from here in Tulsa. How much are you getting to take in how they're doing now? Are you getting to see any or kind of connect with any of those players, or do you still connect with the coaching staff or anything at the school while you're out there?
I mean, the thing about the history of Booker T. Washington and just being there, you always keep track and you always look at a lot of the kids that's coming out, seeing where they're going, the opportunities that they have, and even doing that just in Tulsa in general. I know that Booker T has a really good team this year. I know they've done a lot of great things. I know they ended up losing not too long ago. A couple of weeks ago, it was 47 or some penalties in the whole entire game, which is just crazy. But it's just great being able to focus in and seeing a lot of the kids that's there. Some of them that's there I knew when they were growing up, like Micah Tees, I knew of him. When you talk about Gentry and all the love that he's getting, I mean, all that stuff is amazing. And I went to school with some of his siblings. And so just being able to watch them and see how they're doing great and being able to keep up the Booker T name in the household, I mean, it just says a lot of great things about them.
I saw a couple of these cleats that you posted, you posted Waffle That, which is a new restaurant here in town, who the owner and founder is somebody you went to school with. And then you posted the Quick Trip ones not too long ago, which, I mean, what's more Tulsa than Quick Trip? Where were the go-to places that you would go to eat or hang out, either after practice or after a game, or where was that go-to spot that you were all right, we're all going here?
Well, I mean, when I was in high school, very early on, I think everybody wanted to go to Reba Dale's. The Reba Dale's barbecue place, that was kind of the main thing. I know I used to go to Ted's a lot, just the Ted's hamburger place. Those were probably the main two places I like going to the most out of all the other places. And then as the years went by, we all started to enjoy going to Leon's barbecue.
What's your go-to barbecue dish?
Well, in Tulsa, I always go for the potato. So I get the beef and bologna.
So I assume you're doing these pregame cleats for each upcoming game. Is there any Do I get it like a tease of what might be this upcoming Sunday's pregame cleats?
Oh, no. I mean, the biggest thing is first and foremost, just because of COVID and because of a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, I got to make sure that I can get the cleats in on time. So, that's a real big thing right now is I got to wait for some of the cleats to come in, and hopefully they do before the next game. So that way I could be able to have more cleats to wear. But I mean, it's not really in my control as of right now, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, the biggest thing is I get to kind of like try to shout out, whatever means a lot to me. The success of so many people that I've seen from growing up, or just companies that I've seen that have done phenomenal things throughout the course of history in Tulsa. And I think it's just pretty fun being able to give that exposure and create that exposure and allow everybody to be able to understand that there's more in Tulsa and more in Oklahoma than just land. That's what a lot of people think. And so, no, it's not really too many teasers that I could give out there, but I think it's just something that's really cool and something that I'm starting to realize some people may be looking forward to being able to see what is he going to shout out next.
You can see Lockett take the field this Sunday as the Seahawks take on the Pittsburgh Steelers on 2 News Oklahoma. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:20 p.m. For 2 News Sports, I'm Ryan Love.